Thank you so much, Chris. Namaste, namaskara, and good morning to everybody. What a joy it is to be here today, and let me start by thanking Chris and the entire team out of Chennai that for so long has been serving everyone here in Karnataka and in Bengaluru. Thank you for your exceptional friendship and leadership, to you, to Carrie Arun, who heads up our Foreign Commercial Service Office, and everyone who really has shown we are not beginning a new presence here in Karnataka, but we are expanding our existing presence here, a commitment that America makes to this great state and city in this amazing nation as well. And thank you to all of our honorable dignitaries. Thank you for your great words, Deputy Chief Minister. You have a responsibility that I used to have when I was a politician, which is to tell it like it is, to say what we can do and what we can't do, to lay forward a vision of a global city, a great global city that I love to hear you describe, that at the same time has to work. And congratulations on your successes and the work that you and the Karnataka government are doing every single day. And it's also a great honor that my last public speech as United States Ambassador, that I get to share the stage with somebody who has been a friend, a mentor, somebody used the word, Deputy Chief Minister, tycoon. He is a tycoon of diplomacy. He is somebody who is a thinker. He is a facilitator. I think more world leaders know him as a friend. He'll be representing this nation at the swearing in of our next president. But I want to thank Dr.S.Jaishankar for the work he has done over decades, not only as somebody who has roots here in this city, but to push this day forward and to push a friendship that is a defining relationship in the world today between the United States and India. Please give him a round of applause and thank him for that. We've been talking about this for a long, long time, right? In Canada, there's a expression, "Bare hun hun anade aitu," where you say you talk a lot, but nothing gets done. Well, today, Ivatu undu hosa aramba. We have a new beginning. We start together to make sure this beginning plants a seed that will flower for decades to come. You know, our relationship in India is not new. In fact, many Americans don't know, and very few Indians, that our second consulate in the world was here in India. First, after the independence of a new America in 1776, we opened a consulate in Lyon, France. And then the second was in Kolkata, showing back then the importance of India to a new American nation. Since then, we have built to 5 posts, 7 if you count our commercial offices, including here and in Ahmedabad. And this is now the second largest mission of America anywhere in the world. It produces the second most visas, the most students. We're breaking records every single year, record employees, record visas, record students, record military exercises, record engagement from the seabed to space. And as I boarded the plane from Delhi yesterday, Dr. V. Narayanan, who is the new Secretary of the Department of Space, was on my flight. It was the same day yesterday where India achieved something very few nations have, a docking of satellites in space. And I congratulated him. We used to say the US-India relationship was so vast that the sky's the limit. But after yesterday, I think the sky is no longer the limit. It is to space and beyond. Congratulations to India on that big day. But today we fulfill a commitment made by our leaders during Prime Minister Modi's state visit to Washington last year. And it was actually in one of the preparatory meetings we had when the Secretary of State came here before G20, that we were at Hyderabad House in Delhi, and Minister Jaishankar took me aside and said, "Hey, we want you to open up more consulates here." And ever since, the Indian government has been pushing and pushing, and we've had a bureaucracy in America too. But President Biden put in the leader's statement with Prime Minister Modi that this would happen. And today, a promise made is a promise kept. And this tangible expansion of our partnership is based on so much that we already have here. In some ways, Bengaluru is the most American of Indian cities, and Karnatakans are the most, one of the most, if not the most, vibrant Indian communities in America. So this is not a new bridge, but it's a bridge that will be strengthened today. It'll be a bridge that will be widened today, and it is a bridge that will be more beautiful today, because in commerce, and diplomacy, in culture, in finance, in technology and the future, we say that this is a place for two great nations to expand that friendship and to see the future of that engagement. We have two sister cities in America. I spoke with the mayor of Cleveland, Ohio this morning, who sends his congratulations, and the new mayor of San Francisco in my home state. And San Francisco is such a great match because, as people say, this is the Silicon Valley of India. I think increasingly people say Silicon Valley is the Bengaluru of America. But we see from semiconductors to space, our defense sector, and in health, people who have pushed forward the boundaries of what human beings can make and do together. This consulate is going to play a pivotal role in supporting those collaborations for our economies, for science, for technology, education, cultural engagement. And while visa services will not be offered at the beginning, we will eventually bring visa services here. So I know everybody's been waiting a long time. It is everybody's favorite topic with an ambassador. That is something actually on Monday I'm looking forward to, is my WhatsApp stream. I will refer them to my colleagues. But we know the insatiable desire for visas to the United States. We want to see more tourists. We want to see more students. We want to see more businessmen and women coming. But initially, this will not be offering visas, but we will be working on that to bring that as soon as possible, also something that we promise here today. We also know that this is a critical first step, not a last one. And dedication ceremonies like this are a way to celebrate our future. We've been here for 30 years, as Consul General Hodges mentioned. We have had a commercial service office here, which has helped more than 700 companies from America come here. That is a staggering statistic. A generation ago, people never would have imagined the U.S.-India relationship would be where it is today. A generation from now, what was unthinkable will be indispensable. Indispensable for peace, indispensable for prosperity, indispensable for our planet, and indispensable for our people. And today I also want you to look over to your right, our left, because Lisa Brown, who will be our senior official on the ground here, who's our chief of staff of the entire mission in India, has been given that responsibility to be the first. To help build this, I ask you to introduce yourselves to her, give your cards, build the relationships, help her bring more resources, connections, deals, breakthroughs, and more here. She's somebody who has worked as a chief of staff for our Deputy Secretary of State, somebody who's worked at our National Security Council, and she's an exceptional public servant, a great friend, and I know she is going to be one of the most popular people here as our senior official in Bengaluru. Congratulations, Lisa. So in closing, because there's so much to talk about of other things other times, I want to say, you know, when I first got here to India, if you'll allow me to indulge because of my last public speech, I had first come to this country when I was 14 years old. My parents brought my sister and I here on a trip. And immediately India captured my heart. When I went to university, I had to study a foreign language, so I chose Hindi and Urdu. People said, well, why are you studying an Indian language? And then my college roommate randomly assigned to me. His father became the United States ambassador to India when I was 19 years old, and I returned, spending 2 nights in the residence of the United States ambassador in Delhi. I never would have dreamed that my life would bring me to that same place, that I would be in this position to be able to help, along with Dr. Jaishankar, our leaders, and our people, to put forward what is really a light and an example to our world of when two great democracies, two diverse populations, based on the values that hold us together, have a vision to make this a better world. I've had chai with soldiers in the heights of Ladakh at 17,000 feet. I bathed in the warm waters of Kanyakumari alongside Indian friends as the sun rises over the statue of Vivekananda. I've talked with students, girls on the edge of the desert in Rajasthan who are the first in their family to ever go to school, who dream of being a biotech tycoon when they grow up. And I've been in the jungles of Nagaland, where entrepreneurs are bringing their incredible artisanship to global economies and stores around the world. I've seen the hopes and dreams of Indians never as strong in the many decades I've come here as right now. So I want to say thank you to India, because I'll tell you, so much has changed. a country that you're building anew, a Bengaluru that is an international capital, a Karnataka that is a place of innovation, and an India that always looks at tomorrow differently than today. But one thing that has never changed is the soul of this place, its warmth, its welcome, and the way that it's captured my heart. And I can think of no better last act as your ambassador from the United States than to make sure this consulate site is open. Thank you very much, Dhanyavad, and here's to a great future.
Thank you, Ambassador Garcetti, for those heartfelt words, not just on the dedication of this consulate site today, but I think we had the good fortune, or the bittersweet fortune, to catch you at the end of your tour and hear those words of benediction about India in a broader sense. Thank you very much for sharing. We now turn to our next speaker, who has already gotten a fair amount of deservedly positive mention. It's my pleasure to invite the Honorable Minister for External Affairs, Dr. Jaishankar, to the podium.
Namaskara. Good morning to all of you. Sri D.K. Shivkumarji, Deputy Chief Minister, Ambassador Eric Garcetti, Consul General Christopher Hodge, Ms. Lisa Brown, Ministers, Members of Parliament, distinguished guests, friends from the media. It's a great day today for Bengaluru, for India-US relations. And some weeks ago, Ambassador Garcetti told me that it was feasible to open this consulate before he relinquishes his responsibility, and he was wondering whether it would be possible for me to join him. And I told him that I wouldn't miss it for the world. And there are a number of reasons for that. First, a long personal association with Bengaluru. I first came here in 1962. My grandparents lived here. I did a little bit of my schooling here. I was telling the ambassador when I joined the government, had I joined the domestic service, I would have been an officer of the Karnataka cadre. I actually did my district training in Belgaum, in Chikkodi. So for me, there was a strong personal commitment to ensure that the American consulate was finally established here. The second reason was an equally long association with the United States and our relations with that country. And it's not as old as Bengaluru, but it's still been now 45 years of association. And somehow to me, the fact that an American consulate was not there in Bengaluru was a gap, something missing in the relationship. But I also reflected on the future of our ties, and it's something I would like to talk about a little later. And when I envision where we are going, our ties are going, our cooperation is going, I think Bengaluru has such an important place, Karnataka has such an important place, that again, it was for me an imperative that there is a permanent, a resident presence of American diplomats in this town. So as you can see, there was my own enthusiasm to get this done. And I must say, to give due credit to the people of Bengaluru and their representatives, especially the members of parliament, for the last 5 years, as minister, I don't think there was a single occasion I came to this city and somebody didn't stand up and say, so when is that consulate coming? So I was actually sitting this morning and looking back at every visit I have done in the last 5 years, and every visit that issue came up. And every time I would tell them very truthfully that, look, I'm trying my best. So, and you know, it was from really, I would say, the cross-section of the society. It was from business, it was from the tech world, it was from academics, it was from, it was from people you would meet in a restaurant saying, go get that consulate done. I think it has been something long in waiting, one which I believe Bengaluru more than legitimately deserved and expected. But what happened in 2023, as Ambassador Garcetti said, was we were preparing for Prime Minister's visit, and we had just, I think, finished Secretary Blinken's visit, if my memory serves me right. And Prime Minister Modi, when we were looking at what we could be doing for the visit, actually brought up this issue and said, well, I really think people need to get this consulate done. But Ambassador Garcetti didn't tell you the full story. So I told him, you get Bengaluru done and I'll get you Los Angeles done. And which is his hometown. So we will be opening our consulate in Los Angeles also fairly soon. Now, a consulate serves many purposes. Obviously, a big part of it is to facilitate travel. So, I do want to remind people how important that is today in terms of, obviously in terms of business, in terms of professional commitments, but also in terms of the expectations that people have of their lives and of the relationships that they maintain in a very globalized era. I was checking figures and was very glad to see that last year the RPO Bengaluru issued 883,000 passports. So I'm looking at Lisa Brown and saying, okay, you've got a job on your hands here. So, and that's just for 1 year. So these are 10-year passports. So you can figure out, do the maths, and you will see really, how important it is to ensure that travel is smooth, and that the preparations for that travel are as easy for the average citizen as possible. It's also relevant to mention that there are 3 flights every week from here to San Francisco. Hopefully with more, if Boeing and Airbus deliver, there'd be more. I think that's a legitimate expectation. We are a country today who have 350,000 students in the United States. I think that is also an important consideration, and a diaspora of 5 million people. 5 million people, all of whom have relatives to whom they are deeply attached. So, as you can see, it builds a very powerful case. Now, I do understand what the ambassador said, because, we ourselves sometimes know what it is like to establish a post and get it working. I think today is a very, very important milestone that formally the consulate starts. And regarding the, how soon you can start visa operations, I just realized that this was my talking point number 1 with Secretary Rubio when I go and see him. So the sooner we get it done, the better it is. But let me conclude finally by saying a few words about the future of our ties and the importance of Bengaluru and Karnataka to it. Today, when we look, at all the possibilities before us, in an era of AI, of EVs, of space, of drones, I think and of bio and, it's today our relationship will be heavily based on technology, even more so than before. It will have a much bigger space component because the space domain is actually just beginning to open up and there are so many possibilities out there. Defense is an absolutely crucial area. I mean, 2 decades ago, there were virtually no American weapons in our inventory, very little defense collaboration. Today we fly the C-17s, the C-130s, the P-8s, the Chinooks, the Apaches. This is the town of HAL. In fact, it was HAL which first brought my family to this town. So when I look at tech, space, defense, I think the case for actually a stronger presence and leveraging the capabilities of Bengaluru and Karnataka become that much stronger. The second is actually education and research. And with the new education policy, I think the vistas for educational cooperation have also opened up. So I would very much hope to see collaborative campuses and exchange of students and a stronger American education presence in this region. Then there are the realities of the international economy. The fact is that supply chains are undergoing a transformation. I expect this to, I think not I, but I think all of us expect this transformation to accelerate in the coming days. And as that happens, along with it on the digital side, there is a much greater emphasis on trust and transparency. So today, trusted supply chains will really become key to strategic partnerships. And there, I see a great future for India and the United States, and I think in that future, obviously, Bengaluru will also have a salient part. So, in many ways today, I think the formal opening of this consulate is one more sign that we are overcoming the hesitations of history. I do believe today it is within our grasp, within the realm of possibility that we realize more fully the potential of India-US relations. I think to realize that potential, it is important that Bengaluru too realize its potential in the relationship. And finally, I am given to understand that this is the 12th foreign consulate in the city. So welcome to the first dozen. But as a country today, we are encouraging the opening of more embassies in the capital. It's part of our deeper engagement with the world. But along with that, we are also encouraging more embassies to open consulates. So while today it is a very important event for which I'm here, I do hope that there'll be more occasions where more countries will open more consulates in Bengaluru. I think it would serve India's interests, Karnataka's interests, Bengaluru's interests better. So once again, really congratulations. Congratulations to you, Ambassador, to your whole team. Congratulations to the state government, to the Deputy Chief Minister, to the team. Congratulations to the people of Bengaluru, to Karnataka, to the representatives, to all those who pushed for this, waited for this day, and I'm glad today that I'm here to join that.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for those words. Thank you for your leadership and partnership in getting us to this day. And for embedding the dedication of this site in your broader vision, in a collective and shared broader vision for the U.S.-India relationship. So we have finished with the remarks, and everyone's attention is riveted upon Vikram Joshi, as it often is, and the thing we're about to unveil here. I'd like to ask the Ambassador, the Honorable Minister for External Affairs, and the Deputy Chief Minister, please to approach the shrouded object. Sounds a little ominous, but I promise it's fine. And then we're going to do a grade school 3 count, and then I'll ask you to, with some ceremony and tension, pull the shroud back. 3, 2, 1. All right, I've been counting camera clicks, and I think everybody got at least 3. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. Thank you, Lisa. We'll take seats again very briefly. This is the end of the formal program. I just want to end where we began, with a heartfelt note of thanks from Mission India, from the U.S. Consulate, from the Embassy. You've already heard it from the Ambassador. Thank you to all the partners who helped to make this happen, whether it was your attention on the issue, your suggestions for how it might move forward, your ideas on how it might better support our relationship. Thank you to the ministers in the front row, Minister Karge and Minister Patil, good friends and good partners. Thank you again to the Deputy Chief Minister, to the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Absentia. Thank you to all the business people here who have been such wonderful partners, even across an hour-long flight from Chennai to Bengaluru to help us get some amazing things done. And thanks to the folks from the U.S. government who are here and have been here, the Foreign Commercial Service team, who do fantastic work every day. It's been great to have you all here. I'd like to ask that you just remain in your seats for a couple seconds longer and savor the moment, and then we'll move outside for some coffee and light refreshments. Thanks again for your presence. Thanks again for your partnership.
Hello.